this stage in your learning process, what you should have done by now is watch the horizontal buy line tutorial and the horizontal sell line tutorial. You would have downloaded the free ebook on our website and completed some of the tasks on there. Some of the tasks is looking at real stock market charts, drawing buy lines and drawing sell lines, and reading some of our feedback on completing them lines. If you have done that and you've got to that stage, then welcome to our next tutorial. We will be showing you a different way of drawing buy lines. The reason for that is markets tend to go upwards and then they'll come back downwards. They don't go sideways most of the time. And we've got a quick clip to show you on why it's important to look at these buy and sell lines that we'll be showing you on this tutorial and the next one.
We've drawn a chart here which is respecting three horizontal trend lines. What you'll note is it respects the sell lines and the buy lines just as we've shown you in the previous video. However, one characteristic of this chart is it's pretty much just trending sideways. This is what we would call a trendless chart. Markets do this, but they don't normally do it for long periods of time. What you'll often find is the market will start low and it will just gradually ascend upwards. It will put in a reversal pattern and then it will descend. These are bull and bear markets. That's the usual functionality of these markets.
As you would have seen by that short clip, the market doesn't always give you a flat buying or selling line, especially in rising markets. So what we need to do is we need to look at other ways of generating buy signals from buy lines. And there is another method that we haven't shown you yet, which you will learn on this tutorial. And what we would say is some traders actually favour this way of generating buy lines. It's very good when something's rising and it will tell you when to buy safely in a rising market.
This is a classic example of a trending market that we just spoke of. The dilemma for a trader is we know this price is increasing, but where is a safe place to buy? We can't use horizontal support, so what we need to do is we need to look at another method of drawing support lines. This is a classic example of an ascending buy line. The way that we draw these is just like before. We look for a low point of a down move. We can't extend a line outwards because we've got no matching lows at that price, so we look for a higher low, which is exactly what we have. The market pulls backwards and it hits a low point and bounces. We then draw a line connecting them low points and extend it outwards. If the market was to touch that line again, we'd consider that a touch of our buy line, which is a buying signal. You then look to the right to see what price the shares are and you pay that price for the shares. That is how we buy in an uptrend.
At this moment in time, you will be aware of two different ways of drawing buy lines on stock market charts. Now what you won't be able to do is you won't be able to just upload a chart and pick and choose what method. You have to pay attention and let the chart tell you what method to use. The way that you do that is by looking at all of the low points. If there's an equal low to another and they're both at the same price and you can draw a horizontal line between one and the other, you know it's going to be a horizontal buy line. Whereas if one low is higher than the other, you know that you're going to be drawing an ascending trend line, and that's what you're going to be trading. This was a characteristic of the gold market for a good 10 years, and this is the next thing that we want to show you on this lesson.
Set before you is a chart for the price of gold. Gold was in an uptrend for quite some time and traders would have been looking at buying on buy lines when trading gold. The price put in a low point just here. Ever since then, the lows of pullbacks was getting higher and higher, enabling us to create an ascending buy line. And you will see that when we get below that buy line, it becomes a sell line. But it gets a little bit tricky because gold tried to get back above that buy line. Eventually, the price broke down. It broke down quite quickly. And on our ebook, we explain why that happened the way it did. Also, we left in our horizontal buy lines on this chart for educational purposes. The rounded number rule on our ebook, if you actually look where the horizontal buy lines are on this chart, you'll see that they are at rounded numbers. So that works really well on gold.
That pretty much concludes the video aspect of this tutorial. The remainder of this tutorial can be found in the ebook. What you will be able to do now you've watched the videos up until this point is you'll be able to look at the stock market chart, identify all the lows of down moves, and by using the two different methods that we've shown you, you'll be able to draw two different types of buy lines. So no matter what the market conditions are like, you should be able to know what price to pay for the shares. in order to buy safely. What we would recommend is that you revisit our ebook, look at some of the charts appropriate to this section and draw some trend lines, give it a go. Do read some of the guidance that we give you, as that will really help. The next tutorial you'll be watching is the descending sell lines.